All right, third small figure, the Stygimoloch. Immediately, one thing I noticed on the packaging that's interesting is it's actually branded Fallen Kingdom, while the Tiger Stripe Raptor was not branded Jurassic Park Lost World. The Troodon was Jurassic World only, which, sure. So that's kind of weird. This is the only one out of the line that's actually got a different Jurassic World logo. Little Fallen Kingdom blurb on the back. Again, confirming that it's intended to be the one from like Lockwood Manor and Fallen Kingdom. True FX, whatever the hell that means. Yeah, at a glance, looks like a pretty interesting figure. We'll have to get him out and see how he holds up. So yeah, your standard plastic insert, tail on the bottom. Same way every one of these small bipedal figures is. I'll notice immediately that I have a bent horn. That horn is completely crammed in the plastic at the wrong angle and bent backwards, so that's cool. Points off already. All right, well, there he is extracted. You can see again the completely bent and hooked horn from it being in the packaging wrong, which is pretty disappointing. It should be, technically fixable. Maybe I'll have to try to run them under some hot water and get it to straighten itself out. But it'd be nice if they just, package this shit in a way where it didn't get damaged. Interestingly, this guy has the old style tail articulation where it's the swiveling, little, whatever you'd want to call this little piece that extends out from the tail rather than it being the strange sort of socket we had in the Raptor and the Troodon. So that one snaps in a little bit easier. And then really offers like kind of the same level of movement. There's the Troodon falling down behind me. Piece of shit. Couldn't get him to stand in a way that made me happy. So, other things going on here. Very tiny little baby arms. Look at his tiny little baby arms. Bunny-handed again, but it's a Fallen Kingdom design, so that makes sense. No painted nails, but his hands are so tiny, like, that's probably fine, honestly. I got unpainted dew claws, of course. I didn't even talk about this in the other figures. It's kind of expected. Glass eyes again, they're very like reddish orange. They've got a pupil painted on the outside, but like they're like very much underneath the brow ridge there, so it's like really hard to actually get any light into them. So they're kind of just your standard dead glass eyes that don't really do anything positively or negatively for the figure. Beak closes a little weird because there's no like way for this to like fit together or for like the top beak to overlap the bottom beak. So there's like always a gap there. Neck's pretty thick, but that makes sense for a Stiggy. Not much articulation, which actually is pretty disappointing for a Pachycephalosaurid. Like, this neck, you can move it up, you can move it down, but like you can't even really get this guy in like a good headbutting posture, which is honestly shocking. That seems like that should be the first thing you do. Um, Paint goes decently far down the tail, further down the tail than it does on the Troodon. Tip is still completely unpainted, but I think it looks like it's more forgivable to have an unpainted tip when it makes it like 3/4 of the way versus like halfway, right? Underside's painted in the same cream color that kind of continues all the way down everything. Weirdly, it goes down the back of the legs all the way to the feet, but the feet are not painted with that, so it really gives it like a vibe that it's wearing shoes from behind, which is really awkward. Um, like really awkward looking actually from behind with how there's like that perfect transition from that underbelly color to the red of the feet. Very strange. Just don't look at him from behind. The head overall looks pretty nice. Like a good range of colors and stuff in the dome and like on the face. I don't have any like particularly strong love for the Stiggy as an animal in the franchise, but you know, it's good to see him get a decent figure, I guess. Good for him, you know. I don't like actively really dislike it or anything. It's just kind of there. I would prefer the Pachycephalosaurus to come back, though. I think the Pachycephalosaurus is a much more interesting color scheme, and I like it more since it's a classic animal. This guy's big head definitely seems like it makes balancing probably a bit harder, I'm going to say. Definitely needs like some forward weight on the feet to like even have a good chance of doing anything with this balance-wise. Probably the worst balanced of the three. Okay, I did get it to stand by like moving the one leg forward, moving the head up a bit. Kind of works. It's not great. Doesn't feel like a particularly, you know, interesting or dynamic posture for the guy, but it works. He's got a little tiny bit of plastic flash or like a fiber kind of embedded on the paint on his ass. I think I got it though. It was just kind of like here on the hip. It seems to be gone. So no points off for that. Yeah, I mean, I figured this one would be the best out of the three, and I think it still holds that distinction. Let's look at some comparison images. Let's shrink this down a little bit. All right, so I looked specifically for Fallen Kingdom ones. So this is the Fallen Kingdom design, right? First things first. Very much more brown than red. I like the red coloring on the Stiggy figure. I don't know where the hell it comes from. I don't think they ever really appear red outside of like Chaos Theory. So it's kind of strange. The way I mean, like the white dome with the white horns is pretty much what's going on here with the animal in Fallen Kingdom. The beak and the nose horn are like brown while everything else is white, and it looks like it really should be the same color all throughout. The orientation of the horns, I mean, at a glance looks pretty good. We got like some, I don't know, jugal horns or something on the side. We've got, you know, the big crown in the back. Hard to get an exact like horn count or something on this guy, but more or less right. We've got the kind of the bigger nose horn and then some other smaller horns on the nose, like a double row inside of the outer row. So there's like 4 rows of horns. That's kind of what's there on the Fallen Kingdom one. Yeah, there we go. Camera focused. But they're like, the spacing's kind of different. Like there's on the Fallen Kingdom guy here, there's like a big gap on the nose in the middle. And that's really not there on the Hammond figure. But again, like the scale probably makes it so that's not very easily done. Counter shading looks about right. Let's see another view. So, it's like the promotional render. The promotional render makes it look like the horns on the back of the head are more gray. Same with the nose horn. So maybe this is kind of where that gray is coming from, but then why is the horns on the back not gray? Like, I don't know. I don't know why that would be the case. This render also does look a bit more red. There's definitely like some striping on the back of the Stig. Like you can see it here. But it's like really exaggerated on the figure. Like this guy's almost as stripy as the Tiger Raptor, which is like kind of weird. It's not an animal known for its like stripes. So it's kind of strange that they put so much stuff on him like that. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like we should have the lighter underbelly continuing along the tail. The figure doesn't do that. Again, can't really get a good horn count, but it kind of looks like there's maybe 3 or 4 main horns on each side. Which, I mean, the figure has got like 4 on each side, so maybe. Here's like a body shot of it from the film. I would say that the like torso proportion's not bad, but the tail's probably a little short. I mean, the tail looks like it should be kind of the whole length of the head and body in the Fallen Kingdom shot here, and the toy doesn't really do that. It's not like that bad. It's not like egregious. It's not like the Parasaur where like the tail was like horrendously short. But it's still a little weird. Like I don't know, the bodily proportions. Like the Stiggy has weird bodily proportions anyway, right? Like it's kind of like the most cartoony animal. I feel like in Fallen Kingdom, and that's a movie that gave us the Indoraptor winking at the camera. Just something about like the way the head is so big. I mean, it's an animal with a big head, like I get it, but there's something about the bodily proportions, the legs, the head, the way all that comes together that makes it look like exaggerated, right? Cartoony. I don't know how to describe it really well, but not the best shot, but it's hard to get a good body shot of the Stig. Um yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time dwelling on the Stiggy's like design because I think we could tell that it's distinctly the film Animal, but they've made some weird choices in terms of the color palette. Weirdly enough, looking at the little like promo render here that I've got for the little tier ranking spot for him, looks a lot more brown than the figure, which is like a very distinctly a deep red. So I almost wonder if the color shifted a little bit from like a more of a brown to a red at some point in production, which is weird. Oh yeah, I should say the horns are all fairly soft on the head here. They're fairly flexible, which is why this one got warped being jammed to the packaging. Like it's understandable how it happened because they do the thing where they don't want kids stabbing each other in the eyeballs with their dinosaur horns, so they make them soft, which is like whatever. I get it. Do what you gotta do, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I said about all I got to say about this guy. It's pretty good. I'm not like overly in love with it. I prefer the Pachycephalosaurus. I think the Pachycephalosaurus body proportions feel more realistic as well. Um, I think it goes. I think it goes here. I think it goes ahead of the Dilo. Definitely one of the better small figures they've done, but not perfect. None of the small figures are really perfect. I think Ghost is the closest. Is Ghost the top ranked small figure? I think it is, right? Yeah. Ghost is Ghost and then the Pachycephalosaurus. Definitely 1 and 2. That makes sense. I'm still kind of astounded at how much I like the Ghost figure. Um, that feels right to me. Yeah, definitely A tier. Definitely like it more than the Raptor figures. It is more accurate than like the Gallimimus figure we have, even though it's a little bit like too red and too stripy. It's still like is a better representation of the animal and like more recognizably a design of the animal that's in the film than the concept art Jurassic World Gallimimus they gave us for the Jurassic Park line. Um, yeah, I think that's fine. I think I'll lock it in there. I think it's just a little more interesting than the kind of underwhelming Hammond collection small Dilo. More interesting than the baby trike, but like on the kind of the same level of like close enough accuracy wise, decent design, etc. I think that's it. All right, well, I guess we'll end this one here. I don't have too much else to say on it.